Happy 2024, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first video of 2024. Granted, I know that this should have been done on New Year's Day, but I had to do a stream on that when Phil did Sea of Stars. So granted, I'll just say that the first video of 2024 happened the day after New Year's. I hope everyone had fun on their New Year's Eve party, celebrating in the new year, thinking about all the things that you could do to change your life in 2024 with your resolutions, and just look back at 2023, look back at all the great things that came from it, and flipped off everything that was considered to be bad. But in this case, though, we're going to look at a man that proclaims that he has resolutions for 2024 for the positive, and within that same breath turns it into a fucking negative.
Tonight on the late stream, it is Street Fighter 6. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a big announcement to make. You ready for this? One of my new resolutions for 2024 is that when I play Street Fighter 6, I am not going to get toxic against my opponents.
I do not see this lasting for very long. I mean, he did the same thing whenever he was called out for begging, and he saw the light, saying he's not going to beg anymore, but yet, moments later, he was starting to beg again. But he's saying he wasn't begging, though. Lord knowing, him just saying that he's not going to be toxic towards his opponents, he's still going to be toxic. But he's just trying to lie to his audience by proclaiming that he's not going to be mean to the people playing the game. It's just going to be something completely different. And just the way that he just does these stupid faces, it's really punchable. Like, you just want to take, like, his face, cut it out, put it on a dartboard at his shooting range, and just go to town with it.
That's going to be tough.
Also, not funny. Didn't laugh.
Because Street Fighter 6 has kind of been the stream where I can let loose and I can be like over the top ridiculously stupid.
Overly stupid, aka blaming Capcom for the connections, the Cannon Brothers for the netcode, and the opponents for being better to him. Yeah, that's totally silly and not toxic at all.
In the stuff that I say on purpose, it's a way for me to kind of vent. Okay?
Yeah, him venting. Oh, this person's a scrub. Oh, they're not good. It's just pattern play. Yeah, this is all just a way for him to vent. Phil, that's not a good way to vent. It's very fucking unhealthy. If you want to know the best ways to actually, I don't know, get some energy out and anger out, do something more productive. Go for walks, work out, or in the other case, May 1st burst.
And I like venting when I play Street Fighter 6.
No, Phil, you love bitching and complaining about things that you have no resolutions for. Instead, you create more fucking problems, and you're just airing out your toxicity more and more. That's, again, it's not venting.
I do. Like, some of the things I say, I know people are like, oh, it's ridiculous, that's offensive. Yeah, but it's funny, and that was...
Okay, so him saying that, even though he's saying offensive shit, it's funny to him. Phil, that's not funny. Saying things that are offensive, or even cases scat humor, all of it's not fucking funny, though. Phil really doesn't think about what he says, and he just thinks that anything he's proclaiming out into the world, it's supposed to be fucking fact. It's not fact, Phil. What you're saying is absolutely stupid.
The point is that I was trying to, like, get that angst out of me when I play Street Fighter. Do you see?
Phil, you've always been an angsty person, but yet you're proclaiming that you're using things as like an outlet to get out the angst. Instead, it just makes you look even more pathetic.
But a lot of people say things like, you're too toxic, why are you insulting the players, why are you saying these things?
Yeah, because apparently every single time that people call you out saying you're being toxic to the player, even though they're better than you, they're absolutely fucking correct on it. Most of the people in the detractor community will point this out. It's not people in his chat say, why are you being toxic to people? It's mostly detractors. But only times you ever see people say, hey, why are you being toxic? It's when someone's trying to say, hey, switch over to something else. Like Sambuca, for example, and you apparently told him to shut the fuck up.
So here's the thing. I'm not going to stop being honest about the game.
No, Phil, you're never honest about anything. You proclaiming that you're honest is the biggest fucking lie you've ever told.
If it drops my move, I'm going to call it out.
If it drops your move, it's because it's a skill issue, not the game. Hate the player, not the game.
Alright? But what I'm going to try to make an honest effort to do tonight and moving forward in Street Fighter 6 is to not insult the other player.
Again, Phil, this is not going to last very long. You're proclaiming that this is going to be a resolution, but again, you're going to break within the first week.
Okay?
Or maybe two, just because he's not going to be playing games. He has to do his year-end events. Blech.
Yeah, I'll insult the game. Wow, why is it possible that Cammy has this simpleton combo that's so easy to do, but I'm not going to insult the player for using it. In reality,
even though you essentially insult the players by saying it's pattern play, basic patterns, even though it's combos. They're mashing jab. Oh, they're scrubs for mashing jab and neutral jumping. You still will proclaim it as scrubby. What you're doing is the same moves over and over and over, not mixing it up, not doing a cross up. Instead, same moves over and over, but yet they're the scrubs.
All right, there's different kinds of players out there, okay? There's some people who actively like to challenge themselves all the time.
Fucking put your hand down, Phil. You do not challenge yourself at all. If the game even gives you an inkling of challenge, you bitch and complain and say it's the game's fault. It's the developer's fault for making the game challenging. So you just say, I like to challenge myself. No, Phil, you're more mentally challenged than actually liking a challenge.
That's me. That's why when you see me play a fighting game, I pick the oddball characters. I pick the Zangiefs, the Dalsims, the Blankas, the...
Phil, the reason why you pick all these characters, though, is because you think you're going to be special and proclaiming that you're good at these characters. You're really not. I already said this before. You played Zangief once, got overly cocky, played him again, got your ass completely annihilated. And then you bring up Blanka because you like spamming the Blanka ball throw, random level 3 super, and oh, I win from luck. Dalsim, the only reason why you picked him is because long range spams. That's the reason why you like using him. And then you have Lily, which I'd rather not say. I think it's something that rhymes with witch.
Lilies. You don't see me picking the top tier. Have I picked a single top tier in Street Fighter 6 and rolled with it and got away with the steamrolling, combos and stuff? No.
Yes, you have. You use Blanka the most out of all the other characters, and yet for some reason you wanted to think that your Blanka ball throw, the spam moves that you keep constantly doing, is the immediate ways to win.
I don't really like that. I never really have. I'm the kind of guy that I like to challenge myself with more unique style of gameplay.
Unique style of gameplay, but yet every single time we see you play it and use the unique style, you're spamming the same moves over and over again, getting your ass kicked and blaming the connections and the players.
And I feel like if I just picked the top tier and I got easy wins, that's not fun to me.
Phil, even though you may play a top tier character, you're not going to get the easy wins like you're proclaiming that everyone else does. Instead, the reason why people are good with using Ken, JP, Cammy, Chun-Li, it's because they actually practice the character over and over and over and got the intricacies of the character's combos down. They know what works and what doesn't work. But you do not want to take the time or the effort to go into the lab and learn any of the characters you want to play. Instead, it's casual. Oh, my spam works. Go to ranked. Get your ass kicked in ranked. Oh, the game sucks.
Serious. Like, I actually would not have fun just picking the top tier. This has been since back in the day, playing games like, Marvel vs. Capcom series. I would never pick Strider. Strider Hiryu was the best character in Marvel vs. Capcom 1. I never picked him.
Again, I'm calling heavy fucking bullshit of him actually playing Marvel vs. Capcom 1.
I felt he was too overpowered. Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, I would never pick Akuma or Ibuki. They were too overpowered.
Ibuki? It's Ibuki. Why you say Ibuki for some reason?
I would always pick other characters. So that's kind of how I've always been. Not always, because, in Super Turbo, I definitely pick some top tiers. But then again, I pick DJ, and he's not a top tier. You see?
Well, great. If you want to say that you never picked the top tier characters, but yet all of a sudden you're like, oh, but in Street Fighter 2 Turbo, that's the exception to the rule because I love Street Fighter 2 Turbo. It's like, yeah, forget it, Phil. Pull your pants back up.
So that's just me. All right? But here's the thing. Should I fault others for just rolling with the stuff that's in the game? No, I shouldn't. And the thing is, I know that. I'm not dumb. I just like venting at everything when I play Street Fighter. Do you understand? Like, that is...
Yet, for some reason, for someone that claims that everyone else doesn't know the basic fundamentals and they need to get good, every single time you're getting your ass kicked, you're not trying anything to get good. You're not putting any training into the characters. So you proclaim that this is all venting is just a way for you to cop out and be like, no, I'm just saying that I'm venting just so I can excuse myself of all the toxic bullshit that I've said.
The game that I can just say, fuck the game, fuck the players, fuck everything, fuck,
That's always going to be your fucking mentality, Phil. I mean, take, for example, Final Fantasy 16. You hated that fucking game. For what reasons? Because you didn't like the gameplay and you didn't like the story. Because it was too intricate for you. And when people are telling you give the game a chance, wait till you finish the game and then give your honest opinion, you told them to shut the fuck up and that they're idiots. Oh, the fanboys are out to get me, even though they weren't fanboys. Granted, they were fanboys, but not of Final Fantasy 16, but of you. And you immediately turned them down.
Good to let that out. But then sometimes I get too angry and I get too upset and my adrenaline gets too high, right? And I just get too into it. And
because you're stressing yourself out over something that's not that fucking deep. It really fucking isn't, Phil. It's just a fucking video game. How is it that people can look at a video game and be like, oh my god, this is stressing me out? A normal person, if the game is getting too challenging or too upsetting for them, they stop playing the game for a little bit and take a break. Or they play something else. If they don't want to play something else, they could go do something else. Oh, I don't know. Going out for walks. Listening to music. Making love to their significant other. There's a lot of things that they could fucking do, Phil. But not you, though, because you're going to keep playing the game saying, oh, this game fucking sucks, but I love it.
You get a bad reputation. Now, here's the truth. I don't care about my reputation because
you clearly care about your reputation, because every single time you bring up detractors, you're saying that they're hurting you and your reputation, hurting you and your family. You're saying this quite often, but yet for a man that proclaims he doesn't give a fuck about his reputation, clearly gives a fuck about his reputation.
I'm not in the competitive Street Fighter community. Everybody knows that. I don't care about the FGC. I have absolutely no aspirations to go to any tournaments or anything like that.
Keep this point in mind. I'm going to bring this up later.
Although if I went to a tournament, I probably would not suck, but I also probably wouldn't do great. I'd probably like middle of the pack, maybe win a few matches and then end up losing before I get anywhere near the finals, right?
I don't think you'll be able to participate, because as soon as you show up, your ass is going to get kicked out immediately because people know who you are. You're just a toxic motherfucker constantly making up excuses to why you're sucking at the game and whining about it. And again, no fills.
But that's the thing, like, a lot of people in the FGC, they just take, like, personal offense. I've actually seen people post up, like, on Twitter, oh my god, I can't believe the things that DSP says when he plays Street Fighter. It's like, now, wait a minute.
Yeah, big ups to all the detractors that do it, like Duty Streams does it. I know Rebsy did it, and yeah, he got himself banned. But at the same time, they're pointing out everything that you're saying, but yet they're going to come back to this shit and immediately go, huh, you're saying that you're not wanting to do that, and that people should be like, oh, I don't know, treated with respect, and that people are saying all this shit, but yet you're not looking at the time to see why they're commenting on it, why they're calling your ass out. Instead, you're like, nope, they're just stupid idiots.
Hold on a second here. Number one.
Also, Phil, you don't have a beard to grab. You really don't. Like, granted, I have a beard. Yeah, I'm pulling, just stroking the beard hair. It's not patchy like yours.
I said it on my stream. I didn't go to a public area, right? I didn't post this up on social media. I didn't call out this player personally in their content or anywhere else, even in the FGC. I literally just said silly things on my own fucking stream. But the FGC actually takes such offense at the things that I say that they regularly quote me and repost up memes about the things I say on my streams. It's like, grow a pair of fucking testicles.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Phil, you're saying that you're not posting anything that you're saying on fucking social media. But here's the thing about social media, Phil. And here's the thing about your streams. They're out in the fucking open. Granted, you cut out the parts where you beg, but the fucking streams are out there when you upload them to DSP Gaming. Every single time you upload a video, people will send it to them. Because here's the funny thing about this. YouTube is a form of social media. Granted, it's a video platform, but it has been fused with social media because that's how people like to spread around their content. That's how they want to spread around their opinions, Phil. You're posting it out into the world. People already can see this and they can send it to the right person. And they already know about it. I mean, take a look at Prometheus, for example. You were calling him a scrub, and people showed it to him. It was like, yeah, I'm surprised he picked that cheap-ass Blanca.
Seriously, if you have an issue about anything I've ever said on one of my own fighting game streams, and you can't deal with it, you shouldn't ever play a fighting game.
Hey, Phil, maybe you shouldn't play this game ever fucking again, because every single time you're going up against someone who is a part of the FGC, or just anyone that's better than you have no right to fucking complain about it then. Because people will make fun of you, and they still constantly do. But every single time people fight you in the FGC, they don't really want to fight you much. Because they play once, leave. Because you're not a challenge.
Man, try being around back in the day when I used to play in arcades and all you heard was this kind of shit the time you were playing the match. You were trying to play a fucking match and you'd have a guy next to you talking shit to you, calling you the F word.
Well, someone tell this cigarette to shut up.
Saying shit like that, you little F. You're never gonna win, you.
Even though he said it to many people multiple fucking times, even in his own commentary.
Blah, blah. There used to be a guy who used to walk up and while you were playing, he would literally thrust his crotch into the cabinet as you were trying to play. He was like fucking the cabinet next to you, and you gotta play this guy.
Phil, the reason why they're doing all that shit is to try to distract you, hoping that you choke. It's really clear as day that Phil doesn't deal with hecklers very fucking well. I mean, there's a video evidence of him being disqualified for filming, and he got mad.
DSP, stop recording. No one gives a shit. Play. You can't hold up a tournament.
If he says that again,
1 minute for DSP to report this match is disqualified.
Where am I playing? You still haven't told me. Jesus Christ, man. Treat you like you're Want me to run the fucking tournament for you?
Yes, this is real stuff that used to happen in arcades back in the day. But today, everyone's so insulated and so fucking protected that God forbid that someone on their own private fucking stream.
Phil, what you're doing is not a private stream. It is out to the public to see. Until you take it down and private it or delete it either fucking or, and you just say that, oh, it's all private. It's not private, Phil. It's out in the open. You put everything that you do on your streams out in the open. Again, you really need to think before you speak.
Not even publicly saying it to you says something.
But you're saying it out into the public airwaves. So you are essentially saying it.
Something that you're so offended by it, right?
The only one that's offended by it is you, because you brought this up for no fucking reason. Phil, you want to know how this resolution could have been resolved, like, really quickly? One of my resolutions is to not be toxic to anyone in fighting games. They're done. But no, he has to over-explain everything, and then call up the FGC. Also, him saying, I don't care about the FGC. But yet tells him to grow a pair of testicles.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Scrub Quotes, and everyone else who quotes me out there.
Hey, shout out to Scrub Quotes.
I mean, you couldn't be more of a bitch to be so...
What the fuck, Phil? It's not... Again, they're taking something that you're saying on your own public stream, and they are essentially showing people how you act. Again, the whole thing with Piece of Peace, you were fucking mocking him. Calling him essentially someone who's mentally challenged and making fun of him like he was Jade.
What a mouth-drooling idiot. Look at this bird. Oh, throw again. Here I go. Here I go. Hey, mommy, come in the room. Watch me play Street Fighter 6. Here I go. Oh, my God, you fucking idiot. You pathetic excuse for a fucking fighting game player. You can go get fucked. You're terrible. Same exact gameplay from every fucking Cammy. Literally, not a single piece of originality from any of them. They do exactly the same moves over and over, the same pattern, and you can't break it because you're playing online against a PC player on PS5. You have zero chance. You literally have zero chance to do anything. I hope his whole family was in the room to pat him on the back when he got the win, too. Here you go, son. I'll help you tie your shoelaces later.
For God's sakes, Phil, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Worried about what someone says on their own private stream. Seriously.
Okay, this is not private. This is public.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, this is all public. Hold on, private chug. Glub, glub, glub. Swish, swish.
But the truth of the matter is that we're in 2023. And over time, things change.
No, Phil, we're in 2024 now.
Correct? So, it's a new year, right?
It's a new year in 2023. Wow, we went back in time.
And it's time for us to maybe turn over a new leaf. So here's the thing.
Oh yeah, turn over a new leaf. I'm going to not be toxic. Instead, I'm going to be toxic about the game.
If I play Street Fighter and I'm getting upset, I will blame the game.
So, essentially, Phil, if you really think about it, you're saying you won't be toxic towards other players, but yet you'll be toxic about the game. That is something that people worked on. So essentially, you're being toxic to people that actually developed and worked on Street Fighter 6. So again, this whole thing just is stupid.
Absolutely. I will yell at the netcode. I will.
Yeah, fuck you, Cannon Brothers, for this shitty-ass netcode.
But I'm going to make an active effort to not insult the player.
But you'll still try your damnedest, but you'll still fuck up. You'll still insult the player. And you're doing it by saying they're mashing jab, because that's essentially implying that they're scrubs, even though they're not.
Because I feel like, unless that player actively did something to insult me, like if they teabag me, yeah, then they deserve it, right?
Phil, you've been teabagged in this game multiple fucking times, and you never called it out because you're so upset. But not with the game, but with people fucking, like, shit-talking you in your own chat.
And if someone does do shit like that, then absolutely I'm going to be upset, and I'm probably going to yell at the player or whatever.
Oh, you're going to be upset because someone is doing something they do online, teabagging? When you're the same motherfucker that will teabag somebody.
Okay? But I'm not going to say to the player, oh, how dare you pick Cammy and Mash Jab. That's the game.
Phil, that is something you've been doing on for quite some fucking time. And you're just saying right here that you're not going to do something. You're not going to insult the player. You're not going to do any of this shit. That you're thinking that this is going to immediately absolve you of all the toxic bullshit you've done in the past with any fighting game or just any game ever. It's not going to do that, Phil. People will still remember you for being a toxic little bitch towards other people in Street Fighter and Call of Duty. They're still going to remember you for that, Phil. But stop thinking that this is all going to change as soon as you stop doing it one time. Because doing it one time, again, doesn't do anything about it. Just practice what you preach. And if you keep doing it and keep not insulting the player, fine. Hands up, fine. You did something quote-unquote right. But again, I'm calling it now. Within 1 to 2 weeks, he'll immediately go back to shit-talking to players.
The game
And also, he'll do the same thing with Tekken 8. So, just saying.
is just unbalanced in that way that the top tiers can get away with simpleton combos, simpleton gameplay.
Fuck what I said about a fucking week or two. He just did it right then and there.
And it's not the player's fault.
Now you're saying it's not the player's fault, but you're essentially saying that it is. So don't flip-flop here.
That they made the game that way. If I want to blame Capcom, I'll blame Capcom. But
Yeah, you're blaming people that worked on the game, Phil. It's not the players. It's the people that developed it. Same difference.
shouldn't be insulting the players. Okay, I really shouldn't.
Then you're saying that you're not going to insult the players, but yet you're insulting the people that developed Street Fighter 6 at Capcom. So again, this whole thing is null and fucking void as soon as you're saying that I'm not going to insult the people that play in this game, just the people that made it.
If anything, it should be that I have to find a way around it. Now, here's the problem with the characters that I use. It's incredibly hard to get around it. Plus, I don't play enough. If I'm playing once or twice a week tops, and not even with the same characters, I'm not going to learn the strategies to stop. I played how many matches of Dalsim? I still don't know how to stop that Cammy stuff. I have no idea.
Because every single time you go up against a new player, it doesn't matter if it's the same character or not. You'll come against different people playing that same character. They'll have different play styles, and they'll know how to beat you. Just because they're using one character doesn't mean they all play the same, Phil. Every single person has a play style. You don't know how to handle it because it all varies on the player.
Right? It's probably his worst matchup in the game. So, that's what I'm going to do tonight when we play Street Fighter 6 at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Time. It's Blanca. Alright? It is Blanca gameplay. And
yeah, it's Blanca gameplay because he got tired of getting his ass kicked while he was playing against Lily. That's why he's doing Blanca.
And I'm going to do my absolute best to not freak out. Alright?
Even though inside you're dying.
Not go crazy.
Well, Phil, you're already crazy, and you just think that the gen's gonna numb the pain.
Not get angry at the player. I might
Even though you will.
freak out at the game and the netcode and the gameplay itself, but I'm not going to insult the player.
This whole thing, when he's saying he's not going to insult anybody, this just makes zero fucking sense. Like I said, this whole thing is null and fucking void. Just due to the fact that he said he's not going to insult the player, but he'll insult the game, and he'll insult the connections, aka Cannon Brothers for the rollback netcode, all of the people that worked on like Street Fighter 6 at Capcom. Again, very null and fucking void.
Alright, I'm going to do my best to not insult the players. Let's see if I can stick to that and be more mature about it in 2024, okay?
Well, wait, I thought it was 2023. Now you're saying it's 2024. Oh, great. Now we're not going back in time. Instead, we're in the present. God damn it.
Find out. Here's the thing too. When I
Oh, great. Phil, just move the fuck on. You're like, okay, I'm not going to be toxic towards the player. Okay, move on. Oh, one more thing.
play Tekken, guys, just so you know, I'm going to get spanked in Tekken nonstop. I'm not good at the game. I'm going to be starting like from the bottom.
Phil, quit fucking smacking on that fucking table that's in front of you because it's wiggling your camera and they can pick it up on the mic.
When it comes to Tekken, all right? And
Also, when it comes to Tekken, everything that you just said that you're not going to insult the player, you're going to insult the player. But then again, you already did when you say they're picking simpleton top tier characters.
And basically, the way I see it is I'm going to take my licks, but hopefully I'll get really, really good at the game if I practice. And if I don't, that's okay too. I'm not expecting to do well in Tekken. If I do well in Tekken, I'd be shocked. All right? But
If you did well in Tekken, you would be bragging that you're the top shit when it comes to Tekken, a game that you don't fucking care about. But yet you proclaim you care about fighting games.
in Street Fighter, I put so much time and effort into it already. Yeah, it is frustrating when you get to the point where I've been playing 7 months and I'm still beaten by basic stuff by top tiers. It's like, oh my goodness. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Scrub quotes. Check out my stream tonight. I'm sure you'll find tons of stuff to quote that won't be me insulting other players this time around, okay?
I mean, for God's sakes, there's already this clip of it where you're essentially saying you're not insulting the players, but yet in this same fucking breath, you're insulting the players and you're insulting the FGC. So, again, you're insulting the players. Again, point. Null and void. So while he was insulting the FGC while proclaiming he's not going to be toxic to the players of Street Fighter 6, he went on to talk about his future project that he has for 2024 with the Lost Media. So as everybody knows is that he's trying to figure out what to do with it. So essentially, as I mentioned before, he was going to take KO Gaming and make that into his new channel for it. And lo and behold, I was fucking right.
I do have other initiatives and things going on literally right now. One of the big initiatives that we were talking about is that this year, I wanted to find a way to provide to you my lost content. What do they call it? Lost media. The lost media of Darkside Phil and DSP Gaming from back in the day. What does that mean?
Well, essentially, he's just going over what he was talking about on Saturday, December the 30th. Just trying to say that, oh, hey, I have all these lost media footage that are on my hard drives. I'm trying to figure out how to put it out for the internet because for some reason people want them, even though they don't.
Well, back in the day, I was afraid of uploading certain kinds of gameplay to my channels because of copyright issues. Now, today, there is no issue. You can upload whatever you want, unless it's Atlas. Look out for Atlas, because Atlas will just copyright strike you for no reason.
No, Phil. The only reason why Atlas gave you a copyright strike on your fucking videos of Persona 5 was because you broke the guidelines. You were showing off spoilers in the fucking game, and you were going over a certain date in the game. So that's the reason why. But you want to sit there going, oh, they just copyrighted. They didn't explain why. I just got copyright struck. Oh, yeah, fuck Atlas. Not playing anything from Atlas ever again. But continuing onward back to the whole things he couldn't upload, I don't think it was because of copyright issues. He's making this bullshit up. It's probably because of the fact that he said some shit in the fucking videos that would have gotten him demonetized.
But everyone else is okay with it. But back in the day, it wasn't like that, and everyone was afraid, hey, if I recorded Rockstar gameplay, or if I recorded Square Enix RPG Final Fantasy stuff, I'd get struck down. So I actually had separate channels on YouTube for certain playthroughs. And what ended up happening was, over time, sadly, those channels got hacked, taken over, and shut down by YouTube because some hacker would broadcast illegal sports footage on them, and YouTube shut the channels down.
I'm highly down that any of that fucking happened because due to the fact he never really gave a fuck about those channels to begin with because it was just dedicated to Final Fantasy 13, Street Fighter, and Red Dead. You know, games that he could just put on his actual channel. But he was afraid to lose everything, so he had to improvise by creating multiple channels that went nowhere.
So there have been missing playthroughs for many, many years on YouTube, including my original Final Fantasy 13 playthrough, which is...
Well, there we go. If we're gonna... Let's go right on back. That's, there's something there when he's talking about this playthroughs, guys.
Shut the channels down.
He's snort.
So there have been missing playthroughs.
Yeah, playthroughs. Let the tongue lick.
Many, many years
Blink.
on YouTube, including my original Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the eye twitch. There it is. The fucking eye twitch. Why is it that Phil has developed this eye twitch? This is like a new thing for him. It's like the tongue lip, the Yoshi tongue as people like to call it, touching of the face, looking all over the place, but then staring at the corner with the corner demons, and now eye twitching. It's just Phil just never really stops being interesting because of the weird tweaks that he has or the little ticks.
13 playthrough, which is like over 100 parts. It was like 200 parts or something crazy like that.
Over 100. 200.
The original Red Dead Redemption playthrough, the original Undead Nightmare co-op DLC playthrough, the Suicide Kings co-op online gameplay where John Rambo and I went with a bunch of others and played for hours these co-op sessions of just dicking around and having fun.
You know, I'm not going to say that I thought of this already, but Sly made a really good point here.
You're going to post John Rambo content after you sat on your stream and said you weren't going to monetize them when you were reacting to it, but you have no problem of uploading content with him? You don't seem that as hypocritical? Oh, okay. All right. No problem.
He's immediately going to monetize John Rambo, even though he did his react on the John and Howard interview or the audio file that apparently that you're talking about their experience with Phil. Is it because that John Rambo's not around? That's the reason why he thinks they can get away with it.
And the original LA Noire playthrough, among others. There's actually other content that we found, including playthroughs I never uploaded, like part of a Kung Fu Panda playthrough.
Well, then again, though, Phil, that one wouldn't have gone off at all.
And also some vlogging and stuff that had just been lost to time and was...
Yep, the vlogging stuff that has Leanna, John Rambo, Howard, has a lot of people that he burned bridges with or just completely alienated.
never really live anywhere. And people for years have said, will you ever re-upload? And I was like, well, I don't want to upload that to this channel. That content is so outdated. It's with a camera. It's 10-minute clips. It sounds terrible. The commentary style is very different. It wouldn't make sense to be uploading that content to my current channel. No one would understand it. It would flood the channel with videos that no one really gets.
But why did you think that this was a good idea, though, Phil? This is old footage back many fucking years ago. And again, you're saying that everything is different and nobody will understand it. Then why did you think this was a good idea? I mean, I'm sorry, Phil, but this whole thing just makes zero fucking sense. Who really wanted this?
So what do? So I've decided, ladies and gentlemen, that I am going to officially rebrand one of my legacy channels, okay? Official, starting today, even though there's no content over there. As of this morning, KO Gaming is no more. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you DSP Throwback.
See, I immediately knew he was going to take KO Gaming and then immediately call it something stupid. Just like I fucking said. Even the name is dumb. DSP Throwback. Oh yeah, Phil totally threw his back out to Hulk Hogan.
Okay? You can now find that YouTube channel at youtube.com/@DSP Throwback.
Really, Boomer, you had to point up at the whole youtube.com. So, God damn it, Phil, just say at DSP Throwback. Just say that shit. The whole thing that you're saying before with youtube.com and the slashes, completely unnecessary.
All right? That's the new channel, even though it's not really a new channel. I'm rebranding the channel as of this morning. Now,
you're proclaiming it to be a new channel, but now you're saying it's not a new channel, it's just a rebranded channel. Like, the only reason why you're taking KO Gaming is because it has almost about 20,000 subscribers. And you're just going to take that and immediately say, oh yeah, people will go right into this, put memberships on there, because why the fuck not? Or try to triple dip on the AdSense revenue for something that nobody fucking asked for.
There's nothing new on that channel whatsoever. I just want to forewarn you. You're going to find over there old playthroughs from 5+ years ago, from a time when this channel got suspended erroneously by YouTube and that had to get fixed up. And then before then, you're going to find a bunch of edited style content from 2016. That's really where the KO Gaming channel came from. There was a...
there's a lot more to this lore here. There really, really is, though. The only reason why he wanted to make KO Gaming was to put his edited style content on there. The reviews, the king of content creation, or community of content creation, the caucus people like to jokingly call it. That was essentially for his edited content, and he just noticed that nobody's biting it, nobody likes it, so he just doesn't want to use it anymore. He left it completely inactive. And now all of a sudden, 2024, he's going to take that and just be like, I'm going to throw my old shit on here that nobody wants. The DVD commentary behind the scenes.
Whole year that I was doing edited reviews and countdowns. So there's content over there. And I will urge you, give it a look. Okay? I think you should.
Yeah, give it a fucking look. Nobody cares.
Should. Maybe you'll enjoy that content. It's from a bygone era. It really is. But that channel officially now is going to be rebranded as DSP Throwback.
Dumbass fucking name. Why call it Throwback, Phil? Are you expecting that if you put out the content, your dents are going to throw money back at you?
Okay? And what's going to be on that channel are all these legacy playthroughs plus other content. So allow me to explain.
Oh, great. Allow him to explain what he already explained in the most autistic of details.
I am not going to just upload the raw playthrough footage. I'm going to do it differently, okay? With the help of some others, so I don't want to lie here and take credit. I'm not doing all of this myself, okay?
Yeah, he's saying this while he's going to use someone else, using it for free labor so that he can take the credit and all the money.
I've been approached by a few parties who are very interested in seeing my old legacy content get restored on YouTube, and not only restored, but be improved.
Oh, great. Improved. No. Phil, you could just say that people that are fans of yours stepped in and be like, hey, we could take this old footage and do something with it. We can make it better. But no, he wants to make it sound businessy and professional by being like, I had multiple parties came to me and they said that they could edit the content for me while I take the credit.
You might say, what in the holy hell does that mean?
Phil, everyone already knows what that fucking means. It means editing.
Here's what I mean. Let's say, for example, okay.
Oh, and he also doesn't want to say that he hired editors either, because all that talk about all the big name content creators hire editors to do shit, he doesn't want to say that at all, just so that way he can look like the better person, saying, oh, I don't hire people to edit content for me and be lazy. No, no, no. But he's going to say that multiple parties are involved.
I'm gonna upload Final Fantasy 13 over there. Okay?
Again, who really asked for Final Fantasy 13? Nobody did. Phil, the game is about a decade or so old. Nobody cares about Final Fantasy 13. The most least liked Final Fantasy in the entire franchise.
All right. So the parts of Final Fantasy 13 are only 10 minutes long. Okay? So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to upload a whole bunch of parts, but those parts, instead of only being 10 minutes long, will be edited together into longer videos. Probably not an hour, but maybe we'll make them more digestible. Maybe we'll make them like half an hour. All right?
So if we're going to do some calculations here, so he said 200 parts. So give or take with my calculations, he's trying to make it at least about 20 to 30 videos long. So it's going to be pointless. Why bother doing this, Phil?
In addition to that, all right, we're going to attempt to take those videos and run them through a program that will sharpen the visuals and upscale them to look better. So these are the old days when I had a crappy 720p camera pointed at a television. Instead, it's going to try to take that and make it more crisp and clean and make it look better than the original playthrough actually did.
Can't Phil just say that they're going to put it into some editing software to enhance the visuals of it? Like, god damn it. We're going to put it through a program, and we're going to take this shitty camcorder Let's Play and turn it into something that is from direct capture. Phil, it's not going to fucking work. It's still going to look like ass.
It's not going to change the content, okay? It's
not going to change the content, but it's going to enhance it and make it look flashy.
It's going to be the same commentary and everything, but what we're going to try to do is make longer videos and attempt to make them look better for a modern audience, so it's more visually appealing to you, rather than looking at peach fuzz on the screen. In addition,
even though, granted, I will say this, because I know that whenever Chip Cheesem and Slow Beef did a riff on him, Apparently they were saying that, wow, for a camcorder Let's Play, this looks really good. They at least gave you some compliments back in the day about your Metal Gear Solid 2 playthrough, how it looks actually good. But regardless, camcorder Let's Plays are not the best form of capturing things for Let's Plays. But for God's sake, Phil, it's still gonna look awful! And sound awful too!
There'll be thumbnails. So instead of it just...
I thought you said you weren't gonna use thumbnails, Phil. What happened this time? But then again, you just want to make everything look flashy. You're polishing up a turd and think it's golden.
being Final Fantasy 13 part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's going to actually have thumbnails and everything. It's going to look better and be shorter. It'll basically be way more digestible content for 2024.
No, Phil, this isn't going to be digestible content. If you're saying that the content is not going to change, like the commentary and the visuals, like with the game that you're playing, that's not going to change. It's just going to be enhanced, like a remaster. Then it's just going to be fucking pointless, though. Again, you're polishing something that's considered to be bad, and you're going to say that it looks better and it's actually good content just because it looks pretty. You fucking graphics whore.
Okay? This is an attempt to see if people would watch my old content in this new style. Alright? I don't
No, I wouldn't, unless it's a Dead Space 2 demo. I'm not going to lie.
know if they would. Alright? Excuse me. But it's a good experiment to try for the new year. Okay? So that's idea number one.
Yeah, and this idea just sounds completely terrible and a waste of time. But yeah, he's taking this waste of time and he's trying to make money from it.
Is to basically take the classic playthroughs that are missing, the lost media, re-upload them, edit them into longer videos, make the visuals crisper, add thumbnails, and now it's more modern. Okay?
Step 3. Step 4, profit, I guess.
Still the same gameplay, still the same commentary, but it'll be a new way to experience that content.
But it's just gonna look fucking terrible, though. Phil, you're making George Lucas look like a fucking saint.
So that's number one. Number two, since the whole rebranding of the channel now is DSP Throwback, the whole idea is to kind of experience what old-time YouTube used to be like. So what I'd like to do is from time to time go on that channel and maybe do a random stream where I talk to the audience and explain to everyone what it used to be like 15 years ago as a YouTuber.
Phil, that is completely fucking stupid. If people want to actually look at what YouTube used to be like, I mentioned this guy before. Look at Nintendo Capri Sun's videos. He did Let's Plays, and you could tell the drastic amount of change that was done from back when he started making videos to now. How his videos went from looking completely awful with the audio quality and the visual quality to where it is now, where the audio and visual quality look better. And you can also see this too, the video links. For God's sakes, you can just look at that and be like, okay, YouTube used to be different. But no. Phil thinks that he wants to be like this YouTube historian and tell you all about how YouTube used to be, even though, granted, he only tried to do YouTube to make money.
How different was the site? How different was the uploading experience? What was it like interacting with people in the comments? What was the general vibe of the site, right?
Why are you going to talk about this, Phil? You interacting with the comments, it was trying to either A, you calling people an idiot, or B, you trying to defend yourself over something that you took personally. Hey, Phil, you're going to talk about all this shit with YouTube, though. There's already things about it that people have seen it. They have seen these things, Phil. And yet you're trying to pretend that you know everything when you really fucking don't.
The problems back then with being a YouTuber as opposed to today? What was it like if you wanted to make a living on YouTube? Was it even viable? Well, you know, things were very, very different back in the day when you started on YouTube compared to today.
Phil, even though people are going to say that don't use YouTube as a source of income or don't try to make it a career, they're correct on that. But you're trying to sit there going, I'm going to show you what it's like getting a YouTube sponsorship or a partnership with YouTube back then than what it is now. At least they have more guidelines that are a little bit more easier for people to actually become a partner now. But again, fake YouTube historian right here.
So that could be really neat to every once in a while just jump. I'm not saying this would be frequently, but every once in a while jump on there, do a special stream or a special segment where we have an interactive stream talking about old time YouTube. And maybe you guys could submit questions for me that I could answer about old time YouTube. Okay?
Phil, what you're describing is a fucking retrospective, and you've already done these before, when you're trying to make $1,000, and that was your tip goal. What's $1,000 fucking dollars? It's like, Phil, I know you're desperate for money, but for God's sake, this is getting ridiculous.
That's idea number 2. Now, here's idea...
Well, all these ideas sound terrible.
Idea number 3. Now, this one is very interesting, but I don't know if you guys would be interested in it or not.
Great, he's gonna tell you what this interesting idea is, but it's not interesting. It just sounds boring and just scummy.
But here's idea number 3 for that channel, okay? And I just came up with this one last night, okay? Once we actually have some of my legacy Lost Media playthroughs up on that channel, I could do a special stream, maybe every once in a while, again, not frequently, but every once in a while, just for variety, where we go back and we actually do a live react to my old playthroughs.
I already said it. Fucking retrospective content. Phil, you've done this before. This is just fucking stupid.
So I watch myself play the old games and react to my old style of commentary, my old style of gameplay. Okay?
Phil, this is not interesting. No one fucking cares. Maybe some of the dents in your chat actually fucking cares, in quotes, but no one cares. This is just stupid. It's a way for you to be extra scummy, to demand money. Give me $150 for this fucking marathon event where I'm just gonna watch my old playthroughs. You're just taking what you're doing with DSP Reacts and what you did many fucking years ago. It's not interesting.
I know I'm gonna cringe like crazy at my old commentary and shit. Well, you've seen it yourself.
No, you're not gonna cringe at your old commentary. Instead, you're gonna go ack all the way fucking home. And you're gonna sit there and be like, this is great content, but yet people out there who actually make Let's Plays a lot better, old or fucking new, and you're gonna be like, why is it? This is not funny. Am I supposed to be laughing at this? This is not funny. Meanwhile, Phil makes a racist joke or says the F word against the homosexuals. He's like, ack, funny. Fuck off.
When people say, hey, go, here's a clip suggested, and I watch it, I'm like, oh, God, I can't believe the stuff I used to say for it.
No, you were laughing at it. You weren't saying, oh, I used to say that. You were laughing about it. You thought it was funny.
Different kind of audience back then.
Again, Phil is his own best critic, but is also his own worst enemy. Just due to the fact that anything that he watches of his old stuff, granted, the quality be bad, or just everything about it is just terrible, he thinks it's the greatest thing ever. Like the second coming of Christ. But yeah, all of a sudden, anyone else that could take that same effort, he'll think it's not funny. And that they're trying too hard. But yet, Phil was the one that was being a true tryhard here.
So how cool would it be to see 2024 41 to 42-year-old Phil commentate on 27-year-old Phil?
No one would actually give a shit, Phil. Instead, this is just a big fucking way to say that, hey, I'm just begging for money. I'm desperate for money. And this is like your last resort. I think that 2024 will finally be the end of you, but that's just setting my expectations way too goddamn high.
Playing games and being an irreverent, over-the-top, immature, offensive asshole, right?
Even though you still think that this is all funny, though, and you're still immature. You're still the same things that you were back then, except the only difference is that you're more toxic and more paranoid now. Swish, swish.
Right?
No. Wrong.
So, I don't know. It could work, it might not. Now, here's the thing. These are all initiatives that I'm hoping to do this year, but I have learned...
No, Phil, these are not initiatives. These are ideas. Initiatives and ideas are completely fucking different.
From DSP Reacts last year.
Oh, you learned? What have you learned, Phil? Tell us in your grandeur wisdom. What the fuck have you learned?
I have learned that not everything turns out the way that you intend. Remember last year I had all these ideas for DSP Reacts, and at the end of the year, only one of them really persists, and that's the weekly show that I do, DSP versus the Internet. I still do tier makers occasionally, I still do food videos occasionally, but that's really the bread and butter of that channel. Okay.
But even then, though, Phil, you're thinking that DSP versus the Internet is something like new and profound when, granted, there are other people that have done this way before you have, and they were more successful at it. I mean, look at Ray William Johnson with =3. That's what he did. But except he made his videos a lot fucking shorter, reacted to 3 videos, uploaded it, and it became a huge fucking success. Meanwhile, you, DSP versus the internet, tries to be funny with it when you're not even funny. You try to be intelligent with it. You're not intelligent, just feigning it a lot. And you take all the videos. You don't even upload it all at once. Instead, I'm going to spread the content out. And nobody cares about the content. You just don't, Phil. But yeah, you're thinking all that was a good idea. And that somehow you learned. When you have learned nothing.
Okay? I don't know if all these ideas I just came up with for DSP Throwback will work. They might not. And if they don't, you know, that's okay. Keep in mind, anytime that I tell you guys I want to do something new, it means that I take away from my content here on DSP Gaming. Every time that I'm going to be doing this other stuff, it means that I can't play games. So if I'm going to do a special throwback stream, I can't stream new games today.
And now you're just trying to tell people, it's like, I'm going to do content that's not video games, but instead I'm going to react to the internet. Okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Instead, I'm going to react to my old content. Great way to branch out.
So it very well could be all these ideas sound good, but then when we actually try to implement them, people prefer not to do them. I don't know. We'll see, okay?
Yeah, and then people gave you feedback on what you should fucking do, but you don't listen to the feedback. Instead, you call them demands.
Okay? But that's my idea. Now, here's the other thing. If this channel works, if this channel, people like the content, and I'm not saying if this channel gets thousands upon thousands of views for my old content. In fact, I don't think it would be further from the case. I'm expecting to get maybe 200 to 300 views a video tops on that channel. I mean it too. Like, I don't think a lot of people are going to go out to watch my legacy content. But
the way that you're trying to gas this up, you're overhyping it. You're overpromising that this is going to be good, but you're going to underdeliver it though. That's the problem with you, Phil, is that you tend to overpromise that everything that you're going to think of doesn't matter how bad the idea is, but you're going to tell everyone that this is a good idea and invest in me. Give me money for it. Give me AdSense for my old videos, please, that nobody fucking asked for.
If it gets a regular viewership and people are over there and they like the channel enough, I would be willing to basically kind of do more.
But nobody would want you to do more, Phil, so it's essentially a waste of fucking time.
Meaning, maybe...
But you're going to have those grand delusional states where you're like, people like this, and nobody likes this.
We could actually get the channel enabled with memberships and other special features for members, which, you know, at first I'm not really planning on doing that, but maybe we could.
Yay! He triple dipping!
All right, and in addition to that, and here's what I was really going with this. What if we took my old playthroughs from the Dark Side Phil channel, that channel that I want to leave untouched, but we do the same upgrades to the original playthroughs as we're going to do with the Lost Media playthroughs. I take the shorter parts, I edit them together into 30+ minute clips, we upgrade the visuals, we put them in modern playlists with thumbnails and everything. So now you can find all the old content on this channel, better visuals and easily accessible, and it's not disjointed and messy. You don't have to go to 10 channels. You don't have to go to Dark Side Phil for this, DSP Gaming for this. Oh, where's the Lost Media? It would all be on that one channel. Okay?
Phil, you thought all this was a good idea with the multiple channels back then, and now you're looking at it going, I'm just going to take all the videos from my old channel to just put it all into this one legacy channel. Just a way for you to just take old videos that nobody really gives a fuck about anymore, and you're going to try to upscale it, make it look like the remaster, and then, hey, money please.
There's about 2.5 years of content on the Dark Side Phil channel that no one watches anymore.
Yeah, I wonder fucking why.
People reference it all the time and enjoy it, but they never watch it.
Do they reference it though, Phil? Do they reference it to you? Because I know for a fact the people that do reference it are detractors. And the reason why they reference it, Phil, is because it's meme-worthy.
You see? So this would be a way to repackage that content to make it more interesting for a modern audience and easily accessible for those who want to see the old content, you know, in one channel. Okay?
Who wants old DSP content in 2024? Like, who really does? Like, Haseo, Slayer, Derek, Jade, and many other OIC, all the people that are his whales / dentheads or regulars that think that, oh yeah, old Phil is great, Phil is great. I want to see his history, his legacy. And it's just a legacy of fucking shit set on fire.
The thing is, I don't want to go there yet until we get to the point where we've tested it. Okay?
Yeah, tested it to the point where you're going to get memberships. Again, you're just going to fucking double dip, aren't you? Triple. God damn it, Phil.
Let's test it. Let's see what happens taking these lost media playthroughs, uploading them, editing them, putting the videos up. Do people like it? Are people watching it? There's one other piece to this puzzle, okay? A few years ago, YouTube changed their criteria for partnerships. And the criteria are that you need to be uploading 3 videos in a certain set period of time. I think it's like within like a month or 90 days or something like that. And you need to have a certain amount of viewable hours in that time frame, and you need to have a certain amount of subscribers. Well, I have almost 20,000 subscribers on that old channel. So even though I've rebranded it to DSP Throwback, it still has like 19,000 subscribers. What it doesn't have is new video uploads, because I've uploaded nothing to that channel for 5 years, and it's got almost no viewable hours because no one's watching the dead content. You see?
Yeah, that's why I'm calling it massive fucking bullshit on the viewable hours, because people do watch his old content on KO Gaming. There's still people that are fans of his that will do so. But proves my point yet again why he would pick KO Gaming, because it already has certain criteria already marked off. And that's the reason why he picked it. He didn't want to make a brand new channel because it's a lot of hard work and he won't make money off of it. Main reasons why.
So what I need to do is start putting content up on that channel so that people will start to watch it, and then it'll get the viewable hours, I'll have the uploads required, and then I could get back into the YouTube partner program. Right now, nothing on that channel is under the partner program at all, because they kicked me out of it like 3-4 years ago when they changed their criteria. Before then...
No, the reason why you got kicked out of it on that channel, it was not because of YouTube, though. It was because of Curse Media, as well as that one fucking... What was that one thing called? Like, Polari, I think it was. The other one that he tried to say that, oh, hey, we're really good when it comes to giving you what you need, when it comes to partnerships. We can do what Curse can do, but better. We can actually take everything, make you protected. And you fell for it and used KO Gaming as bait. And guess what? You retracted from it, so that way that channel doesn't maintain any viewership or any partnerships. No AdSense for KO Gaming. Which, again, I'm just calling massive bullshit that he still has money on that or still partnered on there.
You literally never had to upload anything. You could just qualify. But now they've changed the criteria, okay?
They changed the criteria so it doesn't work. That's why he's trying to take old videos and just put it on a channel that he thinks can immediately give him a partnership. So he can try a triple dip.
So, I think what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to film a special vlog that I'm going to upload over on the former KO Gaming channel, now rebranded as, DSP Throwback. And I'm going to say, hello to all the subscribers who haven't heard from me from 5 years. I'm back. I'm rebranding the channel. Here's my plans for it. So that way they know what to expect. And it's not like, oh, I'm subscribed to this dead channel and I might get new content and be upset.
Yo, great. Instead of just watching the rest of this, I might as well just end it off with that. So,
hello. How y'all doing? If you're still subscribed to this channel in 2024, you're probably shocked to see a new video, aren't you?
Not really, though. I already knew you were going to make this video, Phil.
It's actually the end of January 1st, 2024, and here I am, Darkside Phil, making a video on KO Gaming.
Here he is, uploading a video to KO Gaming, so that way he can get that partnerships.
But what you might notice is that this channel isn't KO Gaming anymore, because, ladies and gentlemen, after having this channel defunct for 5
Defunct. You could just say that it's no longer monetized. You could just say it's no longer making money, but Phil wants to be intelligent. Say defunct.
1.5 years, completely unused and just sitting here. Finally, I am going to use it for something completely different, a new project that I'm calling DSP Throwback. Allow this video to be the explanation of what this is going to be. I have now been a content creator on the internet for 15 years.
Yeah, so far I'm not liking what it is, though, because all he's doing, he's giving you a brief history of who he is, and nobody really cares. Everyone knows who Darkside Phil is. But, I'm just going to skip ahead just a little tiny bit. Let's go.
Dante's Inferno. I never finished them, but they're legacy content from over a decade ago that people might be interested in watching.
No.
I found a ton. Was it hard to keep in contact? What about how YouTube channels were? They were very different back then, and the whole attitude of people on YouTube was completely different.
No. You know what? That's it. I'm done.
I just find this whole thing really fucking stupid. Just due to the fact that Phil's saying he's not going to be toxic towards players in Street Fighter 6, but yet, in the same breath, will say that he's going to talk shit about Capcom and the game and the connections, as well as saying that the FGC needs to grow a pair of balls because they get overly easily offended. But the real one that's getting offended by it is Phil, though, because when people call him out saying that his gameplay is terrible and he has no idea what he's talking about, he takes great offense to it. Like, his pride and ego is completely shattered, and he looks dead inside every single time that someone better than him beats him. But yet, he wants to say he has positive news by saying that DSP Throwback is going to be the saving grace of Phil, when in reality, it's just going to crash and fucking burn. I have no expectations of this being really good, due to the fact that it's just going to be the same thing he's doing with DSP Reacts, but instead he's just taking old footage that nobody asked for and should have been left alone and forgotten in that closet. It's like, Phil does not really learn from his mistakes, and he's going to keep on not learning from his mistakes, and he's going to keep on proclaiming that he is successful when he was already the failure from the get-go. Well, that said and done, I'm just going to end it off with the Phil prayer of 2024. Deliver us from the dents. Deliver us from the pay pigs. Deliver us from the pignosis. May we never become dented. May we never become a beggar like Darkside Phil. And just for the love of God, if you have an idea, make sure that it's not half-ass or something that's completely unoriginal. Instead, if you have it, make sure that you have all the pieces together and that it actually can be considered an original idea or something that isn't an original idea, but it has your own spin on it. And make sure you don't call it something stupid like DSP Throwback. Aw, man.